camera rig reveal. Take one. You were rolling? Okay.
Oh.
Alright, so here's the big... Oh. Sorry, I wasn't thinking.
Nope, you're good.
Now I'm ready. Now we're ready. Okay. So here's the big exciting thing about this show we're working on. We're shooting on these lovely little Lumix GH2s, which if anybody does anything with me on the forums, to know that I talk about them all the time for all kinds of stuff when you're not having to, you don't have the opportunity to use something like a Red or a Alexia or something like that. Anyway, these cameras do a really good job. Now we're shooting on these things for two reasons. First off, we have them, we have no money, and actually thirdly is because we wanted to. We just kind of see what would happen and see what we could pull off with them. And overall, like I said, we've been super impressed. I'll get some footage up so you can take a look at it. But the biggest problem you run into when you run these little DSLR type cameras, especially this guy because he's so much smaller than the 5D, 7D configurations, is how small it is. And I really feel like it's a kind of a toy when you start picking it up because they're so light, so plasticky almost. But in all honesty, it's held up really well. We've broken, and here's my pet peeve of the show so far, is HDMI just sucks. HDMI is the format's so frustrating. It's really meant to be plugged into your stereo at home and kind of left. It's not meant to be out in the field being unplugged, plugged back in, moved around, yanked by accident, whatever it is. It's not a durable connector. At least I haven't found any that have kind of stood the test that I would need it to. But these cameras, I was a little afraid. These little connectors right here, they are tiny HDMI breaking off inside the camera itself. But we've actually ruined 4 of these cables, and the camera connector is just fine. The cables themselves just don't hold up, which is too bad. We do our best to make sure that they've got strain relief on them, that the cable is always going to be as direct as possible, things of that nature. So on these rigs, we have I have one rig that's going to split up into 2 because I had another rig that was on its way and it never made it. But it's been working. So we have the rod support system, so we can run the follow focus. We've got this one's configured the other way around. My operator likes to operate on the other side. But we have the red rock follow focus on the one, and this is the new one that I purchased just for the show, just because we needed a second to go on the rig, was the defocus. And I'll do a full review on that. But you know, it's been okay. It's 150 bucks. It definitely feels like it's 150 bucks, but it's been, you know, it gets focused like you want it to. It's a little plasticky. You can kind of feel it bend a little bit when you get a lens. It's especially a little bit. It's not super buttery smooth. So again, on these Lumixes, we've been running 2 different lens sets. We have a Canon FD lens set, and then we have a Carl Zeiss Nikon mount set that actually have looked really nice. The one difference between the two, the Zeiss lenses are a little bit warmer than the Canon FD, but other than that, they've gotten a really good picture off of them. So these are some pretty fast primes that again look nice. The codec holds up really well on these GH2s. I would have loved to hack them so we have a faster bit rate, but the hack's not quite there yet. Disclaimer on whoever would. We don't hack anything, Panasonic. It's exactly as you sold it to us. But anyway, my phone's ringing. Stop phone. Alright, so anyway, yeah, so these rigs have been, we run them shoulder mount, we stick them on sticks, we jib, whatever, so they move pretty fast, they're light, they're easy to throw around. We're in the trailer, like I've mentioned a whole bunch, which has been really nice to pull the camera off the rig, and just handheld nice and small, you can get in the corners real easy. Overall, like I said, just been super impressed with these cameras, and excited to kind of see the film all cut together from the footage these guys take. And again, like I said, we've been shooting. We have 2 more days plus tonight, and after that I can take a breath and actually get some footage up. That's a good example of what these guys can do. Low light's amazing. Well, that's the other thing too. These cameras do a really good job in the low light. So a lot of the lighting, I can almost get away with some more minimal lighting just because I don't need as much wattage out of some of the fixtures. It's harder to say that in these big spaces that we have to light, but when you get a little bit tighter, I can get away with a little handheld LED, a little bit of bounce, whereas you need a little bit more light out of a slower lens chipset or something like that. So anyway, any questions, let me know. I know these cameras are, people always talk about the 5D, 7D, 60D, which are awesome, great systems. I love my 7D. I've had, you know, the 5D is a good image, but these guys are cleaner. There's no aliasing problems. The only the downside I would say is they're tiny, and you do see some of the little bit of the jello as you would on the 5D and 7D, but we haven't run across that too much having an issue. We're running mostly lens sets as a 20 or a 21, a 24, a 50, and I think the highest we've gone is an 85. Oh, we also rented the little Pen Olympus 9 to 18, which has been a fun lens to have. So, these ones, they do have, I know I'm getting long-winded here, but I'm just gonna, that's what happens when you're off the cuff. They do have the flip-out screen, which isn't great for actual, you can see there's some of your problem right there with the HDMI, is that whenever you have interactions with the screen, if you want to flip it this way, the color and the resolution isn't bad. You know, it's an on-screen LCD. What do you want? It's okay for convenience sake if you just have the camera, but having an external monitor that really has a nice, truer color and better resolution and stuff is a must if you're doing something that you're going to be opening the lenses and you have child depth of field. So that's a whole different review. We're going to talk about the small HD. We have the DP4 and the DP6 working, so we'll talk about those in just a minute. And yeah, any questions, let me know. But thanks for watching.